Growing grapes is an art form. Whether you want them for wine, juice, or just snacking, they can be rather demanding, but are so worth it. Grapes are perennials and will live 25 to 30 years. So, like kids, it's important to get them started right. Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome to my channel where I talk about organic gardening and wildlife conservation. There are three main types of grapes: American, European, and hybrids of the two. American grapes, like the muscadine, are native to the deep south. They were cultivated by Native Americans before European colonists brought grape cultivars with them from Europe. Many American grape varieties have been developed for northern climates and are grown as far as Zone 4. Edelweiss grapes were developed in Minnesota and are quite hardy. European grapes are more of the wine grapes that prefer warm, sandy soil. These are the grapes developed around the Mediterranean. They are known for their flavor. American and European grapes have been crossed and called French hybrids. They often have the hardiness of American grapes and the flavor of European grapes. Like good real estate, location is very important. Choose a sunny place with well drained, fertile soil. If you have heavy clay soil, it's good to mix in peat, green sand, and compost to add nutrients and lighten the soil. Fun trivia for my Kentucky friends: Kentucky used to be a main grape exporter before Prohibition stopped winemaking. Then they switched to tobacco. Do a soil test before planting grapes. I have a video on testing your soil, which I'll link here. Soil pH is important with grapes. Ideally, most grape varieties need a soil pH between 5.5 and 6.5, so slightly acidic. Cottonseed meal is a good organic fertilizer that helps to lower pH over time. Many grapes need to be cross pollinated by a different variety, so make sure you have at least two varieties that are compatible. We often purchase grapes from a nursery, and they will come bare root like this. You should have prepared your soil and be ready to plant when they arrive. Trim off any broken or excessively long roots. Dig a hole and loosen up the soil around the grape. My grandfather used to say grapes needed elbow room. Plant vines with the lowest bud on the cane just above the soil surface. Press soil firmly but gently around the roots and water in well. Young grapes need about a half to 1 inch of soil every week, depending on rainfall, for the first 2 years. Water young vines by saturating the root zone area. Don't water the leaves. Apply 5 gallons of water over a 3 by 3 square foot area for 1 inch of water. Mulch around the vines and weed. Grapes do not like competition, so it's important to keep them weeded. Grapes need to be trellised, and so are planted in rows. Table and wine varieties should be planted 6 to 8 feet apart. Muscadine grapes should be planted 12 to 15 feet apart. Plant about 3 vines per person for table use and some to make some jelly. Plant more if you want to juice them or make wine. Grapevines are natural climbers and do well with something to climb on. In the wild, they often use trees. You want to get your trellis structure set up that first summer and start training your grapes as they grow. There are many types of trellis systems, so you should consider what works best for you. For a backyard setting, training grapes to an overhead arbor or pergola is both space efficient and makes a wonderful shady sitting area. You can use metal or wooden posts to build your trellis. Whatever you use needs to be sturdy and well anchored in the ground. They may look light, but grapevines are pretty strong, and the fruit makes the vines heavy. For young grapes, you may want to loosely tie them to the supports. Start wrapping the tendrils around the wires. Your trellis should be 5 to 6 feet tall, or for a pergola, 10 feet. Run wire in between your supports. Fences also offer good support for vines. Grapevines must be pruned every winter or spring. It is important because it helps them produce a healthy crop of fruit and survive for many years. It's important to know the parts of the grape plant for pruning. Choose the healthiest 1 to 2 main canes and remove the rest. Prune off all of the lateral canes, water spouts, and suckers that are branching off the main one. You may be surprised how much of the grape gets pruned after it reaches 3 years old. In professional vineyards, 70 to 80% of the new growth is pruned off each winter. This is because grapes are produced on new shoots, not old branches. You may want to take a course on pruning at your local extension office. During the second summer, train lateral roots onto the trellis or fence so they look like arms coming off the main stem. Remember, the fruit develops on the current season's growth, which is growing off last season's wood. You may have purchased an older home and inherited old grapevines that look dead. Don't give up on them. Prune old and neglected vines in stages so not to shock the plant. Your goal is to get the vine back to a single trunk with well-placed canes. Prune in late winter when the vine is dormant. Grapes are prone to problems. Planting in full sun with plenty of space to allow airflow is critical for prevention. Get varieties that are hardy in your region. Both downy and powdery mildew affects grapes. I have a thorough video about them both, as well as a free download on the website on prevention and treatments. Japanese beetles are lethal to grapes, so their prevention and control is important. I have an entire video on them as well, but the short answer is to check for them often and knock them into a bucket of soapy water. The fruit can also suffer. This is black rot, and I can tell you that it's incredibly sad to come out to your orchard and discover this. Black rot is a fungal disease caused by Giardia bidwelli. I doubt I said that right. Black rot is a cumulative disease, meaning it builds up for multiple seasons, so it's important to get a handle on it. Use neem oil for prevention and control. Birds can also be problematic. If you are having an issue, purchase bird netting to keep them off the vines. You might also encourage wild grapes to grow, as to give the birds something else to eat. Birds that eat grapes in the wild include many beautiful songbirds, such as bluebirds, catbirds, grosbeaks, mockingbirds, robins, tanagers, and waxwings. You may wish to have your grapes on an organic spray schedule. In early spring, use Monterey horticultural oil to kill scale insects and mealybugs. During leaf emergence, and if you've had past mold and mildew issues, you might use Monterey liquid copper fungicide. It is organic, but pretty strong stuff, so use it with caution. Harvest grapes when the bunches are full and have good color. Of course, the best way to see if they are ripe is to taste them. Use a pair of scissors and clip the bunch off the vine. Place them flat in a box. Don't pile them in a deep bucket because you will squish the ones on the bottom. Check out my author page on Amazon. I have started making kids' activity books. Watch my playlist on organic pests and diseases next. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I am excited to have so many new viewers lately, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and have a sunny day.